people, welcome back again, man, to another Vibrations on this here BRBP TV live interaction reaction vibe, man. Welcome to every single one of you guys. Of course, let me check this stuff to make sure that everything is fine and dandy indeed, and of course everything is going to be copacetic in a second. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to the new individuals out there who've tuned into this here Vibrations. Of course, as you guys know, that I tend to always make sure that I tend to make sure that a number of folks come in. I wait about 10 minutes and then we start the vibe. So where are you guys watching from? Big up to all the individuals who were part of the post live interaction reaction, of course indicating where they were from. But of course, guys, it's always much better when you guys tune in when I actually are actually live, guys. So let me just make sure everything is on and popping. Let me see how many individuals. 10 individuals in the building, guys. You guys already in the building already know what to do. If not, definitely click the thumbs up button for me, guys. I would appreciate that right there. Click the like button. Of course, big up to the individual who actually clicked the like button. I appreciate you, no doubt about it. But in the live chat, guys, let me switch over to the live chat. And of course, let me share this stuff as well, so that folks will definitely know that your boy is on the live chat right now. Is there a way for me to send this stuff in, man? Where's the link? There's only a stream link. One of the things that I suspect I'll be doing in the near future, guys, is that I'll be linking the links across the board. Margaret Lawrence, big up yourself watching from Florida. I appreciate the Florida Massive. One thing, the Florida Massive is always in the building with me, eh? They always in the building with me, man. Yesterday, the first person that showed up was an individual from Florida. So big up the Florida Massive, no doubt about it. Right there. Let me just share this stuff on my SAP so that individuals can definitely tune in right there. But I need to get a link. Where is the link? Let me get the link right there. Hold on. But how are you guys doing tonight, man? How are you guys doing so far? By the way, guys, I dropped a reaction channel, man. I think this one is very much vital when it comes to the understanding. One of the things I don't understand what the government is doing, it seems like the government is just giving people loans, you know, and it's like the loans is coming from your mother and your father, and it's like, you know, you don't have to pay it back, brothers and sisters. But yes, you definitely do. On the interesting aspect of that, guys, Scarrett is giving Dominicans loans to pay, and it seems like Dominicans don't realize that they have to pay back these loans. One of the things that I found very shocking, brothers and sisters, this is why you guys definitely to tune into the Mr. Licks reaction, guys. One of the things I found shocking is the fact that they're actually trying to go and take loans in the NBD Bank, the National Bank of Dominica, and then it's like, you coming to ask me for a loan. My money is in the bank, so I take my money and I give it to you. So I take my money, I give it to you. You are the government. Scare it them. Then who has to pay back that loan? You think Scarrett is the one who has to pay back that loan because I give him the loan? Not true? No. He's representing the people. So it is me who has to pay back that loan with interest. So I am giving you my money, and then I have to pay back that loan that I give you through the National Bank of Dominica. Tell me if that makes sense, brothers and sisters. Tell me. And I want to understand if you do things and then, you know, things are actually happening in society. For example, you decide, okay, let's set up some factories and stuff, and you decide you're putting that out there. That will make sense. You know, the factories internal help the people be able to make money. Surplus is coming in because you are able to export stuff to different markets outside of Dominica, as a result, making money come into Dominica, and then I'm getting paid, and then through the payments that I make, I can then contribute back to the very loans and so forth, because it's conducive in that regard. But you're not telling me we're going to take a loan that has no benefit at all to the people. I would never understand this, guys. I will never, ever understand this. Anyways, let me send this. Let me share the link. Already on a tantrum right there, man. Let me share this stuff out. Where is it at? Yes, sir. I suspect I need to actually put out a thing, you know. Crispin Green, big up yourself one time. The Brooklyn Massive is in the building. Bless up yourself one time. Were you at the very meeting itself? Were you guys at the meetings, the individual? Well, I know the individual from Florida is not at the meeting, but Crispin, were you at the meeting? I'm just gonna share this out to my status right there. And where are you guys watching from? And where are you guys watching from? I know we have Florida in the building. We have Brooklyn in the building. Where else are you guys watching from? Those in the post-production, the post-live. I appreciate you guys. Leave your thoughts as well in the comment box below on this here video. Where are you guys watching from as well? We had quite a bit of individuals from the United States watching the video that I did on Sunday. Quite a number of folks showed up. So hopefully a number of folks show up as well. Live right now. With me. Yes, sir. All right, I posted out. Georgia is in the building. Atlanta, Georgia. Mango, big up yourself one time. Mango, it's been a minute since I actually seen you posting, man. I guess you're making too much money, man. You're making too much money, so you have to do what you have to do. No, hey, I ain't mad at you. Do what you got to do, bro. But I appreciate you for being in the building with me here today. Let me go back to this thing. Where is it at? Okay. So we have 11 of you guys. 3 persons like the video, guys. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button for me. And as indicated already, guys, that I'll be staying about 10 minutes before I start. Of course, if you would like as well, guys, to share the video out there, I would appreciate that, no doubt about it. Share the video as well, guys. Oh, I think I should also share it to my BRBPTV platform as well, because it's part of BRBPTV. I need to be doing these things regularly, man. Sometimes I just pop up and say, hey, anytime you guys come through, well, you come through. If you don't come through, you'll get it afterwards. But I suspect I need to start sharing this stuff out there as well. So let me just post this out. I forgot to tell people that it was today that I'll be out up for the BRBPTV live interaction reaction. Come interact with me. Okay. Post it there. And let me post one on BRBPTV. But how you guys doing today, man? How you guys doing today? It's midweek. It seems like the weather is getting hot for some reason. At the same time, raining. It's an interesting weather pattern, I would have to say. Right there, guys. Yeah. Okay, so let me just share it with this thing. And yeah. But welcome, guys. Welcome. It's Wednesday. Later on, it's going to be karaoke, but I think I might miss that one. Right there. Close this stuff down. Is this stuff... Okay. Am I stuck? Oh no, I'm not stuck. Okay, cool. All right. This is the wrong one. But welcome, guys. Welcome to every single one of you guys. How many minutes am I in here? Let me check this stuff. How many minutes am I in here already? 9 minutes. Okay, so we have about 30 seconds remaining, guys, and then we're going to get into the vibrations. There's 15 of you guys in the building right now. Don't forget to click the like button, click the thumbs up button, guys. That will, of course, help to push these videos further and further out there. and of course to notify individuals within your vicinity that I am live. So if they are interested, they can definitely come through and of course participate in this year live interaction reaction. So definitely do so, guys. Oh, let me make sure that this thing is clipped properly. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, guys, the live in chat is only for subscribers only. So if you want to leave a chat or something, guys, you can definitely do so. You'll have to subscribe to the channel to definitely leave your thoughts in the live chat, or you can wait afterwards and leave your thoughts in the, well, you can actually do so right now. Leave it in the comment box below, but I don't get to see the comment box until after the live chat. So yeah, if you want to leave a thought that I can see, also if you also want to leave a super chat as well, helping the channel and helping the channel, helping us to do what we do, you can definitely leave a super chat of any amount. It's fine, you don't have to, but it definitely helps when it comes down to these things, because when it comes down to the live chat, I just do this stuff because that's stuff that I love to do, man. I love to decipher information and of course to push out to the masses right there as well. Anyways, guys, without a further ado, let us definitely get into the vibrations right there.
Lord. We ask you, Lord, to protect it, protect his family, and all the freedom fighters in Dominica and here, Lord. Lord, we just want you to know that, Lord, with you at our side, no, who can be against us? Because you are the protector. We give you the glory. We give you the honor. So, Lord, as we're about to have this meeting,
Amen,
we ask you, Lord, to be in our midst. Lord, if there is anything that's in there that's going to disturb
before I noticed Thomson was watching the lady.
By
the way, guys, let me just make a mention. Thomson is actually back in Dominica. I actually met Thomson yesterday, and that was in Gmit. I met him in Gmit yesterday, guys. I wish I was vlogging at that time. He would have been on the vlog. No doubt about it. But I guess I started vlogging in Senju. That was kind of crazy right there. I should have started in Gmit. But I met Thomson yesterday, and I was asking him, I think I mentioned it. I said it most likely this was not something that was planned, so to speak. This was actually something that he most likely was going to the United States, and they figure, hey, you're wrong, so might as well come and talk to some of the individuals out there, the people who, are supporters or whatever, whoever else wants to come, so that's what happened. That's what actually happened right there. He was going to the United States. I guess he told some individuals, hey, you coming up? Let's have a meeting or something of that sort. And as a result of this is how this ended up happening right there. So I had to point this out. I was actually right when I made that statement on the reaction channel. And of course, when I met him, I decided to ask that question as well. And he definitely confirmed in that, he confirmed in the affirmative that was actually what took place. So he was going to the United States, I guess, as a result of him going there, not on the basis of the meeting, but since he was there, a number of folks were like, yo, let's come together. And as a result, they put this stuff together and definitely did their thing. So, guys, we have 18 individuals in the building right now. 7 likes. Click the thumbs up button. Of course, as indicated, the clicking the thumbs up button helps to push. There's 22 of you guys now. Help to push this video out there further and further so that more people can get notified in that regard. So click the thumbs up button for me, guys. I would appreciate that right there. Anyways, guys, let's continue.
Lord, to protect it, protect his
Mr. Thomson watching
and all the freedom fighters in Dominica and here, Lord. Lord, we just want you to know that, Lord, with you at our side, no, who can be against us? Because you are the protector. We give you the glory. We give you the honor. So, Lord,
it's kind of funny Thomson was watching the lady.
We're about to have this meeting. We ask you, Lord, to be in our midst. Lord, if there is anything that's in there.
Anyways, guys,
that's going to
the prayer. Okay, thanks for the prayer, sister. Where the volume go now? What? Oh, they sing the national anthem. I do think Ollie doing a wonderful job. Not singing that the vocals just not there. The vocals not there. But let's continue, guys. That's not what we're here for. Let's listen to some more.
Give us the opportunity to hear the plans that he has for our lovely country, Dominica. I'd also like to give special thanks to the organizers because this was a last minute.
You see, I like it. Yeah, it was a last minute vibe.
Really put this together at the last moment. Special mention to every single person who is in attendance here this evening. Those who will join us a little bit later. I just want to tell you, thank you so much, so much. We appreciate your presence. I know every single one of us, Dominica is in our hearts. We care very deeply for our country. We want to see Dominica move forward with all its potential. And this is what we...
Yasmin, big up yourself one time. I see you in the building. Big up yourself one time. Let's get it, guys. Let's get it. Don't forget, guys, to click the thumbs up button. Let me see how much of you guys, 20 of you guys in the building. Click the thumbs up button for me. 21 of you guys. Okay, there'll be more people, I'm sure, as time goes by. So definitely, guys, tell your friends and family, click the thumbs up button, and let's do this, man. Let's continue.
I'm here tonight to hear the plans that Dr. Thomson Fontaine and a team of people who love Dominica so much that they're willing to put so much on the line to save our beautiful land.
These people are literally putting their lives on the line, man. Especially in this time where we wonder if there is any constitution in Dominica and laws are just, you know, they just bypassing the constitution to do craziness. These people are literally putting themselves on the line. They didn't have to. Thomson left South Sudan for him to come here, for him to organize things in Dominica. You know, a number of persons who could have left decide they want to stay in Dominica, even though I'm one of the individuals advocating that people leave. I understand that Thomson Fontaine wants to do things, and I think they can do great things in Dominica, but at the same time, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time to rebuild, and of course, hopefully those who are in Dominica will help to sustain and elevate Dominica so that the folks who go overseas can then bring in the capital to Dominica to help further develop Dominica. That's one of the ways, or that's one of the reasons why I always tell people to, you know, leave, because Dominica has a lot of growing to do, you know. It's not going to take 5 years. It's not going to take 10 years, but you never know. It's going to take a long time, brothers and sisters. So it's better that individuals leave and they send capital back to Dominica when there's a good governance to actually utilize that monies in ways that it should be used.
So please feel free to ask him the questions when the time comes. I am sure Dr. Fontaine is not interested.
Okay, let's move on a little bit.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Who's Mr.?
Notice, the relationship about to try and maximize them. By the time Friday evening, club, logistics, small finance.
Okay.
So indirectly, there's a conversation. And so a lot of people say, what are you doing out there? What are you?
Okay, guys, let's get into the vibration. Too much talking.
And sometimes somebody's a Samson and we need a little Solomon. What we have to start doing, I think, is owning our
Sometimes somebody's a Samson and we need a little Solomon. I think you mean sometimes somebody is a Goliath and you need a little David. I think that's probably what he means right there. I don't understand the correlation between Samson and Solomon. Samson was the strongest man and Solomon was the wisest man. Maybe that's what he means. Sometimes we need somebody with the strength, and then sometimes we need people with a good mentor. So maybe that's what he means right there. Anyways, something about
teacher counselor.
Let's go back a little. Okay.
God bless.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, and gosh, good night to all of you. Me and Zed go way, way, way back.
Oh, that's
Zed was the head boy of academy when I was there. And we came up with the idea of bringing together all the student councils of all the secondary schools. And Zed headed that, and I was the treasurer. And Gabriel Christian was our teacher counselor.
Big up Gabriel.
That was
Christian.
over 40 years ago.
That's long time.
But even then, I think what was common with us was that love of country. And all those years later, that love for Dominica has not been diminished. That desire to see our country move beyond the place that it is has not been diminished. And so I am truly delighted to be here tonight with all of you. Thank you so much for coming. Mr. Mutu, it's good to see you. And to all of you who are here, it's really good, that you were able to come out. And I'm glad to see not only persons who support our party, but others of you who are here to listen to us. And that's very important.
Yep.
Very often in Dominica, we talk over each other's heads. We need to listen more. We need to pay more attention to what people are saying. And that's how we're going to move forward.
I agree.
So I want to share a few things with you tonight, out of my heart, and just really, really been thankful for that opportunity tonight to spend some time with you in the Bronx. And driving up from DC this morning, it reminded me a little bit of why I prefer Dominica. That traffic is something else, boy. Jesus. He just reminded me, and I'm like, thank God, Dominica all the time, Yeah, so, but anyway, we're here.
Guys, you're not lying under one. This is one of the reasons why I absolutely hate to drive in the United States. I think the United States driving freaked me out, man. Some of you guys driving up there and you come down Dominica and saying, how people driving in Dominica? No, well, the opposite is true when it comes down to America. I absolutely hate, my God. I just detest driving in America, man. You driving, you have to stop. Then you driving, you have to stop. Then you driving, you stop. Then that frustrates you. And then sometimes there's so much traffic in the place, man. I mean, my goodness. Sorry for the rant, brothers and sisters. I have to get this out of my system.
Yeah, and I know that tonight, although I'm here as the only representative of the United Workers' Party, Team Dominica, I'm not here alone. I stand on the shoulders of the founders of the United Workers' Party, former Prime Minister Edison James, Ron Green, Norris Prevost, and Julius Timothy, and all the others who labored from 1986 to build a party. I stand on the
Where is Ron Green? Where is Ron Green, guys? Is he alive, man? I remember as a little boy I say about Ron Green. Light-skinned fellow with glasses.
Shoulders of those stalwarts who have maintained their support for the party over all those years. In spite of the blows that we've received on election day, because you can imagine how it is when you work so hard to win an election.
And they come and
on the day of the election, you can only watch as plane load after plane load comes in.
Facts.
As ferry after ferry unloads.
Facts.
And you know that you're going to lose the election. And yet our people continue.
Yes, John.
They have not given up. I stand tonight on the shoulder of this 92-year-old lady I met a few weeks ago. And she told me that she was praying for two things before she died. Two things. One, that she would get a chance to meet me, which she was doing. And secondly, that she would see a win for the United Workers' Party. And I told her to have no fear that that will in fact happen. We have every confidence that we will win the next general election.
Well, Thomson, let me tell you something now. I believe that the United Workers' Party would have won the election probably like three elections ago. Now, it's one thing when you have confidence, where you know for sure that you would, and I'm saying this to say that I think that Dominicans definitely want change. Dominica definitely wants change, but Scary them has hijacked. They have hijacked the elections. Literally. So even if you have the confidence and you know for a fact that, hey, Dominicans want change, and you think that majority of Dominicans want change, a lot of people have that sentiment stating that they believe that majority of Dominicans want change, but at the same time, they have hijacked the election. So the question is, what can be done to unhijack the election to ensure that Dominica reflects the free and fair will of the people? And another thing that I always have to point out, and I told him this yesterday, yes, you guys most likely will win if there was free and fair elections, but at the end of the day, if you look at it, even if the Dominican people, majority of Dominican people want change, Scary them can go overseas, and now they have the whole world to play with now. All the people who have CBI and all kind of things, they can come Dominica and vote. The whole world right now can come Dominica at any time. Somebody can be outside of Dominica for 50 years and come down to Dominica and vote. Sometimes some people not doing too well in the United States, according to the labor right, and I agree with him. Some people not doing too well because they wasting the economy of United States. You wasting, boy. America have so much great opportunities, man. And to go America and just form the absolute royal donkey with yourself is insane. And even if you're illegal in the United States, there's still a lot of great measures for you to be able to use and elevate yourself. A lot. Far better than in Dominican people just forming the royal donkey. So I agree with the labor right partner when he said that a lot of people are Dominicans, quote unquote, living better because Dominica sustains its people. But I'm still wondering why. Because they can still go overseas if 60-70% of Dominicans want change and about half of that want to vote, which I think Dominicans, if they're really serious, the Dominicans in Dominica who say, boy, I'm not voting and expect some sort of change to happen, nothing will happen because they will go overseas and get how much people to come and till this scale. This is why they have that anti-man fella from Barbados, I think, who was coming and do things for them to figure out how much people they need to bring in certain places and so that they can bring them among the people. Even Thomson admitted that I think in 5 constituencies, only 120 people tilted the scale. And these people came from overseas. So scary them know what they're doing when it comes down to election. This is why a number of court cases have happened and they are killing it. Because they know they're wrong, they will lose. But they have hijacked the justice system as well. So what can be done? I will bring back Thomson for us to have a nice podcast, guys. I will definitely bring him back right there. Mangu is saying, Ron Green in La Plaine. He's in La Plaine. Well, it seems like he's quiet because I haven't seen him or heard about him. None of that stuff. Well, when I was a little boy, he was kind of like an elderly, quote-unquote elderly guy. So I'm guessing, he's not up to par. He's not as young as he used to be. So anyways, kudos to Ron Green. Right there. Yeah. Yasmin, yeah, definitely so true indeed.
And I will explain to you how we're going to do that. I have every confidence that we can do this. And tonight as well, I stand on the shoulders of the patriots, the 24 other individuals who were arrested and thrown in jail for simply standing up for electoral reform. March 19th, we saw the police actions against innocent protesters, jailing of innocent people. I can recall the fear talking to individuals that they had, expecting that knock on their door.
Yeah, there was even some people telling me not to film them. when I was part of the protest, guys. There were some people telling me not to film them. They are for the movement. Yes, they're for the movement, but don't film them. Sometimes I went up to people to talk to them, and they were scared. And I think that is the notion that definitely the DLP and Scary them want the people to have, to be fearful of even standing up for your own rights. It will obviously fail in the end, but they know it's time that they want. Just like the whole injection thing, guys. They knew that the truth will eventually come out, But they didn't care about it coming out. They wanted as much people to take it before the truth came out because you would have it inside your body already by the time the truth comes out. So that is kind of like what is happening. And these people know about time, brothers and sisters. Time is the essence right there. Not the monies that you make. No. Time is the greatest currency that we have. And according to that individual who spoke, I think one of the truckers who spoke and said, don't you feel like 20 years of your life has gone down the drain, Papa Buji? Well, not mine. No, I prepared for those things. This is why I know how to leave. So it's all these individuals, they left as well. And they are participating in better economic conditions.
Some were shackled like common criminals. All because they stood up. And that's what we are fighting for. So I stand tonight on their shoulders because they give me the strength to go on. I've been arrested now 3 times. 3 times.
That is something else.
Never stole a quarter in my life. I'm treated sometimes like a common criminal. And I remember the time that I was arrested and I spent 3 days in jail. And I was telling somebody that, during that time, it was
Boy,
kind of interesting because
that is something else, boy. Guys, I was in jail too. Oh, yeah, they put me in this cell too, guys. Hey, that didn't break me. That make me stronger, guys. That make me stronger. And by the way, guys, my drone case, I won my drone case. We're also suing the government. So there's that part too. So I won the first one, the drone case. They give me back my drone. They have to pay me for that. And then obviously we have the other one as well. Suing, wrongful imprisonment and what have you. I tell this police already, if they want, I don't have no problem, They can come for me every time I put me in jail. Just make sure they're right, because if they're wrong, problem for them. Hey? It's just a pity that is the people that have to pay for the very decisions of the people that they voted for. Well, then again, they represent the people, so the state has to end up paying these things and not the people who are doing the wrong. This is why it's so vital for people to do what? Vote for the people who are doing the will of the people, not for themselves. What is happening in the present state of Dominica's government has absolutely nothing to do with the will of the people.
I never expected that. I never expected to move from the corridors of power in South Sudan, sitting next to President Museveni of Uganda and the presidents in the region, and moving from that to a cell in Dominica, where my company that night was a few rats that are the size of Chihuahua.
My pillowcase was a shoe. Boy, you mad. My pillowcase was a shoe. Yes, I. The government know they lose the case already. So they're trying their best to kill time. But as one thing with somebody that work hard for time is me. I have plenty time. Mine ain't not a lawsuit to come on all you again.
Hours, and it was quite a waking up and a awakening experience for me, because here it was. I was trying to process in my mind what this is all about. I have not killed anybody. I have not stolen anything from anybody. I was working for my country. I was devoting my time, sacrificing my time for my country. And here it was. I was in a common cell.
Hold on. By the way, guys, there are 38 of you guys in the building right now. 14 likes. That's half. No, that's less than half. So, guys, click the thumbs up button for me, please. I would appreciate that. Click the like button to push these videos further and further out there if you care about this so much. And, of course, if you want to leave a contribution of sorts, you can always send a super chat. Leave a message in the super chat so others can see bright and bold as well. Of course, that will help push what I do further and further. Ready? You don't have to, but of course I would appreciate it. No doubt about it. Definitely click the like button for me, please. Let's continue.
Something good came from that, because I met a Venezuelan, and I'll just share that as we move on tonight. But that's important for context, because sometimes things happen to you in life and you wonder why. And I'm convinced I was in there that day for one reason.
I felt that same sentiment as well. And I also met some Venezuelans. I don't know if the Venezuelans have problem or nothing, but maybe they're sending them to Dominica because Dominica get debt for forgiveness from Venezuela. So the Venezuelans selling Venezuelans to Dominica. But I also met some of them there. But guys, I felt like I needed to be inside there. No doubt about it. Because I met a number of persons who, they had no clue. They were around some wrong people, and sometimes the people are innocent. They're just around the wrong set of people and end up in getting involved in certain things. Sometimes I actually met a boy who took a fall for another boy. I say, my brother, the partner is outside there while you inside there, and you say you're covering for him. You serious? I tell mister, if you really want to free himself, stop hanging out with those people and do what you need to do for you to get out of there. You cannot be in jail for people and they're outside there viving. And these same people are the ones that put you inside there. Really? Nah, man. Anyways, I felt like I was supposed to be inside there, man. The folks who gathered around me and, we were talking and that was crazy. Then the people here in chat outside and they say, what's going on outside there? What's going on outside? Because they hear they set a noise And the people are chanting for Mr. Lex to come out and me and Jawazan to come out and stuff. It was pretty nice, man. No doubt about it. Anyways, I'm not advising that you go jail. Don't do that stuff or get, in sales or whatever.
I met this gentleman who had been in that prison for over 6 months. He had come to Dominica. I was not ask him what he was jailed for, but he had spent this time. He was sent to jail. He had made his time, but he did not have the money to go back to Venezuela. Our government refused to pay his ticket. So this individual was sitting in jail for close to 7 months.
That's the same thing that I understood. They're not shackling them. They give them little room for them to free up themselves, and then they put them back in the cell. That's what happened in Dominica, guys. That's really what's happening in Dominica. That's crazy, man.
Not being able to.
Then again, can the government send them out? Does the government have money in Dominica? I know the government have money outside of Dominica, so that's a whole other story right there.
To live. I gave him my solemn promise that I will get him out because he belongs to his family. And he referred to me as God. He called me God a few days later. He said,
don't fall for this scary vibe, no? You're not God, sir. But I understand the sentiment that you keep is like you came to save him.
Sent me a text referring to me as God. I said, no, I was just helping. I was able to get him a ticket and to fly him out probably 2 or 3 days later. I say that to say that, it was something that they thought would break me and somehow, but here it was, I was able to contribute to someone's life,
I felt the same way
to his family.
I felt the same. If you guys saw that video of me when I was speaking about, the part 1, I never put up part 2. When I was talking about part 1, I stated that same sentiment, man. It felt like I was supposed to be inside there. And some of the people who were inside there, young boys, young boys. I remember one particular one who I always used to talk to him. Always. The boy go to jail. How much time, I tell you? I say, my brother, you have so much talent. You're not supposed to even be in Dominica. You're supposed to be overseas utilizing that great talent that you have. And I met him in church one time, man. This year, I met him in church, man. And he spoke to me. I say, boy, Miss Lex, I wish I had listened to you. The boy hold my hand, and the boy serious. And the boy hold my hand and say, boy, Miss Lex, boy, I wish I had listened to you. That is a powerful statement to make, we. That is a powerful, and me and him was sitting in his cell. And then but today he's outside. He's outside, guys. A number of the folks who I met inside, they are outside. And I met one of them who was like, quote unquote, troubled, like he's troubled. I met him the other day and it seems like he's doing well. And he said, you remember what I told him? So sometimes you end up in certain positions and you check in, what are you doing there, man? You don't deserve to be inside there. But sometimes God actually uses you to put you in certain places so you can probably change, just even saying the right things can change the trajectory of certain people, man. That's crazy, right? I get goosebumps saying this stuff, but anyways, let's continue.
In Venezuela. And so,
that's good for you, man. Big up yourself.
The struggle for Dominica continues.
Yes.
And that's why I'm very happy tonight on a Friday night, after a long, hard week, that you've taken the time to come. I truly appreciate this, and I'm not taking this for granted. I appreciate your presence. What this tells me is that you, like me, and like those in Dominica, have a desire to see change in Dominica.
Yep.
What this tells me is that you are Dominicans and you're looking most likely for the day to go back to Dominica. And I will tell you this, a United Workers' Party Team Dominica believes that the future for Dominica is one in which we are able to embrace our diaspora. It is one in which we're able to count upon every single one of you. And already I know you're playing your part. Dominicans are sending constant support to Dominica.
That's why I keep telling individuals to go overseas and make themselves. Because right now the economy of Dominica is not doing well at all. People are struggling even in business, even in jobs that you would think is doing well. They're struggling, my brother. When you is a nurse, when you are a nurse and you go into the bank to try to take a loan, they're telling you your salary not enough. They tell, as a nurse, how you think that can happen in the United States? You know how much money nurses making in New York? Gasa, one of my friends is a nurse. I don't know. She's actually at the end. She's actually in my video. One of my Mr. Leaks videos. In the outro, you will see a girl with curly hair. She's the one I'm talking about. That girl makes a dirty piece of money. I don't even know why I said that. But there are Dominicans who are in the United States who are nurses, and they feel like they are finally living up to their true potential. Nurses in Dominica are not feeling so, no? Nurses in Dominica are saying, well, at least I have a job. That is what nurses say, you know, at least I have a job. Dominica needs to do so much better. This is why I tell individuals leave so they can contribute back to Dominica. When you're making your big salary, when you're making your $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 per month, and your expense come up to half of it, yes, in New York it's expensive, true. It come up to half of it, but you're making $9,000, you have $4,500 remaining. You can easily send $1,000 back to Dominica. That equates to about $2,700 to $2,600. Easy. That can do magic in Dominica. Sometimes you don't even need to send $1,000. You can prepare a barrel and send it down. You prepare the barrel, sell it down, and then send the cash for people to clear that, and you're good to go. You spend about $400 or $500 for goods and services that people can do, and you send another $400 or $500 down to clear the thing, and you're good to go. Contributing back to society. This is the whole ideology when I tell people that they need to leave, because Dominica's economy is not conducive for anybody to truly survive and live a good and prosperous life.
Constantly, you're sending the barrels. Last year alone,
Just talk
over
about
$50 million in remittances sent back to Dominica from the diaspora.
50
and
million.
That is what is keeping our country afloat.
Facts. That is why I tell people they need to go. If you're in two minds about going, I'm telling you, I am the voice that you should listen to. Go. Some of us fortunate because we are able to work online. This is why I tell individuals, if you are able to work online, then come back to Dominica, because you're making the US dollars and it's converting back to EC when you utilize it here. Or you can travel back and forth and carry your stuff with you. So you hardly even have to buy anything in Dominica. You just buy food and groceries. I know, you know. I know. All right, then.
Because in that same time, we had about $5 million worth of exports.
$5 million worth of exports. That is stuff going out from Dominica. $5 million, brothers and sisters, of exports, leaving Dominica as an agricultural nation. Yes, but $50 million coming out from overseas. This is why I keep telling people to leave. Make yourself in an economy that is actually conducive to your uplifting, your bringing. Give you living wages. You don't even have to go America. You can go across the Caribbean, brothers and sisters. You can go St. Kitts, Grenada, St. Lucia. Don't go St. Lucia right now, but Grenada and the other places. Even St. Vincent, you can go. There are Dominicans going to St. Vincent. Gasa, what trouble is that for us now? Anyways, let's continue.
So your contribution is keeping the Dominica economy afloat. It is keeping your family, your friends in Dominica, allowing them to be able to send the children to school, to pay the school fees, to pay the bus fares, to pay the mapping bill and the bills at the end of the month. And I want to thank you for that. And yes, you can put your hands together for yourselves. Because without that support, it would have been a very different situation in Dominica. Without that support. And I know, because this is a topic I've studied very, very closely, understanding the critical role the diaspora plays in the development of the...
He's an economist. He's an economist. So he knows what he's talking about.
Country. And I'm here to tell you tonight that we have a plan for the diaspora that will include not only your participation in voting, which we welcome, and I want to, from the outset, dismiss this fact that we do not want the diaspora to vote.
Well, I don't think the diaspora should be voting. or if they're voting, I think, no, let me retract that. I think the diaspora's point of view when it comes down to voting, they need to have their own constituency. The diaspora wants to vote, no problem, but they should have their own constituency. That 5 years thing can go, that's no problem. But for the diasporas to vote, they do not need to come to Dominica. They need to be online somewhere. They have 2 constituencies, those in the north, those in the south, wherever. Europe, America, wherever you guys be, whichever you're close to, you vote in those constituencies right there. If you're in America, you're in the Caribbean, vote in America, you're outside. They need to have 2 constituencies. If you have 2 constituencies for the overseas Dominican voters, it will not affect the rest of the true will of the people, brothers and sisters. That is what I think needs to happen right there. That's what I think needs to be done. I'm not the only one that stated this. Initially, I only thought of one, but it would not make sense to have one. You know, Roosevelt Douglas, Rosie Douglas was one of the individuals who actually mentioned this. I didn't even know he mentioned this, but it made sense. You know, that the overseas voters have their own constituencies, so they do not affect the rest of the people. So if the overseas voters can tilt the scale to one side or the other, that's fine. You know, if there's 20 seats, they have 1 seat, or they have 21. They have 21 seats. They have 2, so we have 23 constituencies. And there's 10-10 or 11-11, and they can tilt the scale to whichever side that they think is better. I think that is how it should be. Right there. Let me see what is being stated right there. Mango is saying, I want to move my automotive shop to Dominica. I send heavy duty tools, but it costs a fortune. Customs is killing Dominicans that is trying to create business. Yes, that is exactly the reason why customs is there. Because if not VAT, if not CBI is dying, then apparently today is loans. And if they want to get more money, then they have to go through customs. Customs is one of the places that are giving Dominicans a lot of, the government a lot of money. How on earth you buying a vehicle for $2,000-$3,000, and in Dominica you have to come and pay $20,000-$30,000 to clear that vehicle? Sometimes even when you give them the receipt of the amount of money you spend for the vehicle, they put in their own value on it and then they marking it up. That's crazy right there. Anyways, let's continue. However, I would not advise you to move business in Dominica. Dominica economy is not conducive for business right now. It's survival of the fittest. By the way, guys, there's 47 of you guys in the building. 20 likes. Please click the thumbs up button. Click the like button for me to help push these videos further and further out there, guys. Of course, that would help tremendously. So if you guys can just click the thumbs up button, more and more people will get to see that interaction right there. Let's continue.
We've never said we do not want the diaspora to vote. What we've always said that it must be a level playing field. In other words, every single Dominican in the diaspora must have the equal chance to vote as everybody else. And that's what you need, a level playing field. So we have to find a way to make that happen. But it cannot be that a government that is drunk on power, a government that is not working in the best.
When I bring on a podcast again, guys, I go ask him about that.
Interest of the people of Dominica.
Let me see if I can put that idea. But I think one of the United Workers Party candidates is the one who brought up that situation, because they were listening to my video and then they met me and they say, hey, you're not the only first person who mentioned this. It was actually Roosevelt Douglas who mentioned having the overseas constituencies. And he told me about the 2. This is why I mentioned in 2. No, I agree. The 2 would make sense because there's 21 constituencies. So having 22 constituencies doesn't make sense, because if you have 10-10 or 11-11, you know, nobody's going to win. So you need an odd number.
When the people who are living in Dominica want to make a change in this government, it is not fair that they can use the resources of the state
to bring people
to import voters in selected constituencies.
True.
And let me explain to you how terrible that is. In 2009, for example, in 2009, we lost 5 seats, 5 constituency seats.
I think I mentioned that.
By a combined total of 220.
Oh, 220.
Votes.
My bad, guys. I missed it by 100. 220 votes.
That's 5 seats we could have won. But we lost. Why did we lose? Because the government of Dominica had gone through the list and had brought people in selective constituencies. In 2014,
This is why you need the cleansing of the voters list.
we won 6 seats. So they say. It was 7 on the night of the election because I was supposed to have won my seat in Bradford. The following day in a recount, I found out that 21 ballots, perfectly good ballots, were thrown out as rejected ballots.
Boy, did it. That's crazy.
In a constituency where since 1970, they've had an average of 2 spoiled ballots. So we moved from 2 spoiled ballots in 1970, all the elections over 50 years.
But doesn't that mean that the people who are counting are also corrupt? Does that mean that the people who are counting the ballots are also corrupt because they are geared up? Maybe they have been paid to ensure that you lose. So the whole system need to throw away. The whole system need to throw away. I see Elliot Hippolyte has made a statement. Big up yourself, Elliot. With respect to overseas voting, with technology, a system can be put in place for everyone to vote. An online voting system, this would enable a level playing field. I only think the online voting system should be for overseas voters. I don't think it should be for Dominica at all. I don't think so because, you know, there are certain ways where you can manipulate these things. I think that there must be if you want to count it online, no problem. If there's some sort of system that able to scan and then it reads your stuff and then it puts it in, no problem. Then that's great. We can have that system. But I think when it comes down to actually saying, oh, we're going online and vote without any digital copy, I disagree that. I agree for the digital copy to be overseas because you don't want to be jumping all over the place and coming to ballot places to think. No, that wouldn't make sense. To people of Dominican Republic who are Dominicans have to go states and vote. Nah, that doesn't make sense. I think you have to have a U.S. constituency and an English constituency. The people who are closest to these constituencies, that's how they vote. Now, brothers and sisters, we have 53 of you guys in the building. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button for me, please. I would appreciate that right there. What do you guys think about having 2 additional constituencies and having these constituencies for overseas voters to vote? I think that'll be, if you want to include all Dominicans, no problem. Personally, I think that only Dominicans living in Dominica should vote because they're the ones filling the blunt. And I understand certain family members from overseas might be sending on monies and all those kind of things. There's sometimes you even struggling overseas and still trying to send on monies in Dominica. So you yourself feel like you should participate. That's warranted. But personally, I think only people in Dominica should vote. However, if you want to include everybody, I think it should be on the merit that it does not affect the majority of people in Dominica who want change. We include them. You have your 2 constituencies of sorts, and then you are able to contribute however into Dominica. Dominica is able to help you out in whatever ways and means. You know, if there's opportunities in Dominica, give it to individuals who are able to do so, and all that is measured in so that people can bring their businesses like Mango is wanting to do. So give them priority to individuals coming to do business in Dominica. And I think that is how it will help on both sides. I think that's how it will definitely help on both sides. Anyways, guys, let's continue.
And suddenly, we have 21 spoiled ballots. But guess what? Every single one of those ballots were against me. So we went to sleep thinking we won the election. The following day, we had lost by 3 votes. That is what Dominicans we've had to contend with.
Corruption.
And that is the reason why I find it very interesting that people say we should not speak, we should not protest.
Yep.
But that is what we're up against.
That's exactly what they don't want people to do. Because when you protest, the rest of the world is seeing that there's something wrong in Dominica. If you don't protest, a number of persons will say, Mr. Lex, the protest was successful now. I tell him, yes, the protest was successful because a lot of the countries overseas find out that there's some strange things happening in Dominica. If no protest was happening, none of that. Even though you want a better outcome when it comes down to electoral reform, yes. But you're only looking at one particular point. You're not looking at the big picture. The big picture is people seeing that there's something happening. Even the United States, yes, the United States knows that there's funny business going on. They message me, you know. They message me asking me what's going on in Dominica. Yes, guys, I'm telling you. And I told them what's going on in Dominica. I told them. So they know exactly what is happening, and they have Zampoli as well, you know, to further enhance what is going on. That's most likely, well, not most likely. That's exactly why the United States put pressure on European Union to ensure that that CBI business dies. It's not European Union wanting to do it on their own, you know. They want to protect them people too. But the United States has brought pressure on them to the point where they had voting. And they voted in favor, 41-10 or 41-11, in favor of removing, restricting, putting visa access to their countries so that they can exploit the system right there. Thanks to Skerrit. All this is because of Skerrit. Nobody else, you know, brothers and sisters. All this is due to Skerrit. What is affecting the Caribbean when it comes to the CBI is direct result of Skerrit. 100% Skerrit fault. I'm not making things up, and I'm telling you it is his fault.
You can imagine the kind of sacrifice that you have to put in. Because in 2014, I sacrificed my work at the IMF. An IMF economist in the prime of my career. I said, I'm going to give everything to Dominica. I resigned, went back to Dominica to contest an election. And that is what happened to us. And we are being told you should not protest, you should not complain, you should simply take your losses. But that cannot be.
Can you imagine that, brothers and sisters? People are manipulating the elections. Corruption is taking place in elections, and they are telling people not to protest. Stay quiet and just take your blows, even though the blows is under corruption. Now, right now, brothers and sisters, everything in Dominica is about corruption. Everything. You wondering how come we have to be taking loans and we have CBI funds outside there, billions of dollars in CBI funds outside there, yet still they're giving loans to Dominicans. Make that make sense.
That should not be. So what we have been calling for in Dominica is a level playing field, is a situation where we can have it such that every single Dominican has a chance to participate. But at the end of the day, we have a process that is free,
and fair,
that is credible, and that is fair.
Facts.
Nothing more, nothing less. That's what we're asking for. And that is what we deserve. So we have a government that has survived or thrives on the stealing of elections.
Yep.
And that's the reason why we've not seen any progress necessarily. Look at where Dominica is today.
That thought just came to mind. Look at where Dominica is today. Dominica is now last Kakarot. Imagine in 2023, Dominica was the fastest declining economy in the entire OECS. Boy, you mad. Today, Dominica is the last, not one of the last, you know. Dominica is the last, economically speaking. All the other Caribbean islands are US billion-dollar economies. Dominica is the only economy that is about 700, not even close, about $650 million US dollar economy. You can Google it yourself, you know, guys. Google the GDP of Dominica and it'll tell you. Google the rest of the Caribbean and it'll tell you. St. Vincent is above a billion. US, I'm speaking here. St. Vincent is above $1 billion. Antigua is above $1 billion. St. Kitts is above $1 billion. Just name them, they are above $1 billion. Dominica has more resources than all of these other Caribbean islands combined. Has less than $1 billion. Boy, let me continue here. Oh, I see Jennifer. Jennifer, big up yourself one time. First time I seen that name there. But Jennifer, I appreciate you for definitely being a part of this here vibe. Jennifer is saying yes. And it is very high on the port too. While China is good duty free. China is not only going duty free, you know. China is about to establish China is about to establish some sort of supply center in Dominica, you guys. And guess who are the stakeholders? I'm sure the government are the stakeholders. What is in it for me? I remember some individuals who came from states and from Canada come to Dominica. They never met each other. They never had talks with each other. They just know me. I'm the commonality between them. And both of them give me the sentiment that the government wants to know what is in it for them. Not just them, you know. Remember the previous school that came, brothers and sisters, before the Axum School, American Canadian School of Medicine, which clearly is funded by CBI. Anyways, the school before was an Indian school, and the school was coming to Dominica. One of the problems that was found out, brothers and sisters, is that apparently the government wanted more. They wanted more, and the school didn't even know how well they were going to be, you know, how profitable they were going to be. They had no idea. You would think, okay, let them run, and then after we can renegotiate, and then you'll give me a little more, whatever. None of that stuff. The government wanted more in the very beginning. This is why the school had to stop. What do you think all the government is? Boy? Okay.
20 years ago, 25 years ago, we were exporting close to $200 million
Facts.
of our produce. Now we can barely hit $5 million.
Facts.
A government that has neglected the people of Dominica. A government that believes, by the way, that the way you treat your Dominican people is by throwing handouts at them.
And loans.
So here,
as you say, throwing handouts, true. You give somebody $5, you give somebody $200, but you go overseas and you take loan, and you ensure that these people who you give $500 pay back that loan with interest. Or they go in the bank, take your money, and have you paying back the very loan from the very money that you give the bank, that the bank giving the government. And you have to pay it back. Your money they're taking, you know, but you have to pay it back. All you understand how crazy that is? Okay.
the prime minister is in a certain village and he's giving $300, he's giving $500. And I want to say that in 2013, the government of Dominica introduced the National Employment Program. And the reason why that was introduced is because in the build-up to the elections, the United Workers' Party Team Dominica said clearly that we are going to ensure that as we participate in this election, that we get, that we actually win, all right? So our focus was on winning in 2014. But everything was done to ensure that we lost that election. And so that is what we have been fighting against. We have the NEP program that was started in 2014. And because of that, because it was started because we were offering the people of Dominica that we would be able to create 5,000 jobs within 3 years. And we had it laid out because we understand that the way you move the Dominica economy
you have to create jobs.
Is that you ensure that the pillars of the economy are energized, so to speak. So you work on that.
Imagine that was the plan, brothers and sisters, United Workers' Party. Skerrit came and destroyed. Skerrit came and single-handedly destroyed that aspect. And when you're talking about jobs, you're not talking about minimum wage jobs, no, brothers and sisters. Minimum wage jobs is for individuals who may be on the slow side and those kind of things there. But if you are strong and powerful and, you know, you are able to do extra stuff, then you should not be receiving minimum wage for your abilities. You should not at all. But Skerrit came in, he removed that aspect, and as a result of the declining or rising unemployment rate in Dominica, he decided to create something called the NEP. The NEP was not for people just to stay and work on the road. I know certain businesses, they closed down today. They closed down, brothers and sisters, who started with NEP workers. A lot of these businesses had NEP workers. They had NEP workers. And then afterwards, they pulled away and say, okay, well, you have to pay, this is on you to pay these workers and whatnot. So they started laying off people. To the point where the businesses could not handle or be sustained. and the businesses had to close down. There's even a business that took place over that business, and only 2 people are working there. 2 people. 2 people, so they can cut costs. Whereas, how much? About 15 people were working in the previous business that was there. Even in the bank, they had NEP workers. The bank was paying them half, and CBI was paying the other folks half. That's how it was working in Dominica, brothers and sisters. So NEP is not just for people you see in on the road. There were people in the bank working in NEP under the NEP program. So that should tell you something. The lack of the creation of job opportunities, that is what it has to be. It happened to. When the banks cannot even pay you, they have to be sustained through NEP. Oh boy.
Agriculture. You work on the agriculture sector in all its various forms. The raw products. You work on the agro-processing, essential oils, livestock, poultry, all of that. You work on the tourism sector, on the manufacturing sector. We understood that, and we detailed how we're going to provide jobs for the people of Dominica. So the Prime Minister quickly went ahead and started an employment program.
NEP.
Now, let me be very clear, and you may have heard on the radio that somehow we don't believe in the NEP program, that we're going to stop it. We have been very clear. We believe that we can do this better. In other words, when I'm in my community, when I'm in the village of Grandford where I was born, and I look out my window at about 9:30 in the morning, I see all of these young people walking down the road, spade in hand, probably a weed whacker.
Can you imagine that your life in Dominica, when it comes down to career paths, brothers and sisters, is to cut grass as a young person? That is it, Now, initially, the NEP program was just a thing that probably high schoolers or people leaving college who don't have job experience could then jump in, and then they'll gain certain experience. And as a result of the experience, then either the businesses keep them or they move them along, or those kind of things there. That was what NEP was supposed to be. Today, we still have NEP where people have living careers. No, sorry, these are not careers. They have jobs, living jobs there. They're going to live inside NEP and die in NEP, brothers and sisters. That's how it's going to happen. That's Jesus wept, bro.
Whacker on the shoulder. And I'm thinking, we can do better than this.
Of course.
These are young people who went to high school, and now they're condemned to cutting grass at the road. Not that there's anything wrong with cutting grass at the road. But couldn't we have used those resources instead to ensure that these young people gain a skill?
And not just that, no. Not just that alone. Gaining skills is one thing. But let's say we are structured these things. Kind of like what Burkina Faso is doing. Burkina Faso, they tend to utilize their cattle. So they cut grass and they do things, and then they bring the grass for cattle to eat, and then the cattle makes milk, and things happen where they are able to sell and most likely export. I think they export into the neighboring countries. I think it's goat milk they do and cow milk. I think that's, if I'm not mistaken. But that's something that can actually happen. What about people cutting grass and this kind of things that is conducive to anything? It's like you're just wasting money. The money goes in, there's no output. The only output is the people getting the money, and then they come into businesses to buy some stuff with the $1,000, and hopefully they get to save $5. But there's literally no measure. Okay, we're spending this amount of money, we're spending $5 million. What is the output that can be produced from this $5 million? Shouldn't we have factories where we can hire NEP workers to actually work in factories, pick fruits? And people in Canada, there are Dominicans working in Canada picking fruits, Yes, and they're making plenty money. Yes. There was even one who was on my video the other day, but I wouldn't call his name. But anyways, to pay the NEP workers to plant trees, plant a mountain, do things, different crops, so forth and so forth. We have factories and so forth, and you have a number of persons working in that field. If you are able to do that, then you have output because you get to sell a product. You get to sell a produce and you get to sell a product. And as a result of spending that $5 million, then you have monies coming in. With these factories and these kind of things, minus expenses, whatever, you'll be able to have at least 10 million, 15 million, $20 million coming in. Isn't that what Antigua doing? Antigua buying our plantains. Let's say they buy it for $5 and they're selling it to New Zealand and other places for $25 US. While they buy it $5 EC. Couldn't Dominica do the same thing too? So if we had this understanding for the NEP workers, it would actually benefit.
Wouldn't it have been better to have these young people in training, to be accountants, to be plumbers, to be able to fix small appliances, to be electricians? A skill that they can learn something for life. So if they migrate out of Dominica, they have something to offer whichever country that they go to.
Facts. Kind of reminds me of my father. As a little boy, I didn't like what my father was doing us. Because I check in children out there in the plane and they're learning to do plumbing and electricals. What is that? Today, I don't need, if I need to do something, you know, anything literally. Look, I just change a thing for my family there. Anything, go by my do some stuff there. Electricals. Sometimes basic stuff in the United States, something's basic, you have to pay $100 US, right? To change a water heater or something of that sort. You have to pay $100, $75 to $100, sometimes even more, because you don't know how to do it. Sometimes you have water heater problems, boiling thing downstairs, and just a fuse that blew. I know some of these folks that does do that. A fuse that blew, and there's people spending how much hours inside there making it look like it's a big problem. And then these people leaving with $300-400 in their hand because they fuse that blew in them broilers or boilers thing they calling them. A fuse, just buy the fuse for $2 or whatever, $3, come and fix that. They're making it seem as if it's a big problem. Well, I don't blame them, you know. If you don't know what to do, you end up spending way more money. It's good to learn the basics, brothers and sisters, when it comes down to this thing. So even if they don't get to do a job or say they're doing plumbing and this kind of things, at least they have the skills for themselves. And that's what my father made sure that we have. Jack of all trade. I can do everything, you know. Everything.
So it's not that we're against the NEP program. We're against the way it is done. So a United Workers' Party Team Dominica government will change the program to ensure that it becomes a skills training program.
That makes sense.
And that is very important because many years ago, and I'm saying some of you in there would have been in Dominica at this time, when we had the JSP program, where those who were not so much into academics could have a skill.
Yep. They took that out. Right. That was the dumbest thing I ever see a government do. They took that out, the JSP programs. Some of the individual and humans, and this is not a bad thing, you know, brothers and sisters. It's just that humans have different skill sets and talents. If you put a monkey to climb the tree and you grade the monkey on its ability to climb, and then you put a sloth in the same thing and you grade the sloth the same way you grade in the monkey, it'll make this sloth look like a fool. But give a monkey some of the things them sloth would eat and see how fast it will die. So there's different skill sets for different people. And sometimes society looks down on people who are not academically inclined. But it's very interesting that the people who are involved in trade make way more money than the people who are working 9 to 5. Way more money. And it's interesting that sometimes women look for men who are in jacket and tie because they work a 9 to 5. And they don't want to go after the fishermen, these kind of people there. I was doing a video for fishermen for one particular time, and it's not on a regular basis because sometimes they have other people to pay. And these folks told me about $7,000 they make in the day. $7,000 selling fish. If they do that once every week, 7, 14, 21, 28, that is $20,000 for the month. I don't know about skirts, $45,000 a day. You know, I don't know about that business. I know for a fact that these folks, when they go to fish, they sometimes go to fish once or twice in a week, or whenever they get to fish and come back and sell about $7,000. Obviously, they have to spread that money amongst the people who are involved in selling, in catching the fish and stuff. So each person might end up getting like $1,500 or something of that sort. But at the end of the month, $1,500 times 4 is $4,000. What I say, $1,500, $6,000. So each person get about $6,000 at the end of the month. Interesting, ain't it? Anyways, let's continue.
Right? And they were able to get that, but they've destroyed the JSP program. The JSP program is no more. So we have a number of young people who lack those various skills.
And then they look dumb. And because they don't have the skill sets, because they are not able to be academically inclined, society looks down on them like they're dumb. That's kind of crazy right there, bro. Crazy. I know a particular guy, he was in school, he was a fool. He was a fool in school. He wasn't doing the best in school at all. You know for a fact that that guy would come out last in class. You know this? It's very interesting, brothers and sisters. Today, he's making more money. He probably making more money than all of us. Well, let me think about it. Than the class. From the people working 9 to 5. He does music. He does music in a place that is conducive for music, no doubt about it. I used to do music in States, you know, guys. I used to clock my entire salary in 3 weeks. I used to sing. I clocked my entire salary in 3 weeks for the year. My entire salary for the year. Combined 12 months in 3 weeks. So I know what the music scene looking like. Jennifer, big up yourself again. Tell the people what you will do to enable their children to be employed after high school. But remember, this live chat is not reaching the majority because they are not listening. Oh, they're listening? They're listening. They're just quiet. They're listening, but they're quiet.
Even
some folks actually have their family. I know one particular person who has his family pull up listening to this reaction right there. So, you know, let's continue. By the way, guys, there's 56 of you guys in the building. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to do what? Click the like button to help push these videos further and further out there. Click the thumbs up button. The more you guys click the like button, well, only once you can click it. So more people need to click the thumbs up button. I would appreciate you guys doing so right there. 57 of you guys. Come on, guys. We can do this. And of course, if you want to leave a live chat, a super chat as well to support the channel, you can definitely do so as well. Let's continue.
In opposition right now, we have started a process where we are now reintroducing skills training to our young people.
That's good.
So we are not waiting to get into government. Even as I speak to you tonight, we have a program that is ongoing in the southeast part of Dominica, where we are training some 15 young people in plumbing, in small appliance repair, and in electrical work.
Kudos to Thomson them for doing this, man. Kudos to them for doing that. Because the youth definitely need some sort of help. When they ask the Mao Pal rep what he doing for the youth, he telling people he not their God. Can you imagine that? They put you there to do things for the people, but you telling them you're not a God. Let's continue.
In that we are offering it to them completely free of charge. And you know what my motivation was for doing this and for introducing that and why we thought it was good to do? One day, as I was making the rounds in my village, I came upon a group of about 15 young men. 15 young men. And I could see in them me because I was there. I walked those streets. That's my village. And they say, we want to talk to you. We want to tell you something. And they pointed, the person who was...
Before I continue right there, Margaret, Jennifer, I think Thomson Fontaine is answering your question right there. Teaching people a skill. Tell people what you will do to enable their children to be employed. You teach them a skill. That is what he's talking about right there. for the individuals who are not academically inclined, or the individuals like me who are both. They are both skilled in training and academically inclined. Then you can teach them certain skills. You can teach them whatever they need to learn in school. You know, I think everybody needs to learn the basics, at least the basics. You know, something you can actually utilize in life. School, sometimes you tend to wonder, what is the point of school? You go and learn social studies, history, and this kind of things. There sometimes they say we let in history repeat itself, and we learn history in school. I don't understand what is going on right there. Anyways, let's continue.
Doing the talking says there are 15 of us, all between the ages of 18 and 23. We move around we move together. We look out for each other. Not a single one of us have worked in this country. These are 15 young people in my constituency without a day of work to call their own. And they say, sir, can you help us at least? We don't think that program of cutting the grass we are not into it, but can you help us to do some poultry? We'll come together, we'll take care of the pen and so on. We want to go into poultry production. Can you help us?
Guys, as he's talking about poultry there, I remember the DLP had a thing that they had in Cabrits, man, some years ago. And they brought in some young people to learn business. And one particular person who I know is a partner of mine. He's in China right now. He was there. He was there in this thing that they put out this whole business thing about. And he wanted to do poultry. And he went to the government for assistance and this kind of things there. Nothing doing, brothers and sisters. He never get not one piece of help. Nothing. They say, oh, they train you, and they say they'll give you some grants and thing later on. Nothing. Interesting, ain't it? Let's continue. But this is not the DLP, eh? This is United Workers Party. At least he's helping his people in his community. I think other people need to do these things across the board. My benefit, brothers and sisters, my skill set is on YouTube. My skill set is on YouTube. And I have quite a number of phenomenons when it comes down to YouTube. So persons want to learn YouTube and this kind of things there. It is a lot of work. Sometimes you feel like giving up and this kind of things there. You just have to continue. And continue till you make it, man. I know the struggle. Anyways, guys, let's get back to this.
We are in Dominica. So we have a government in Dominica that has amassed an incredible amount of wealth, an incredible amount of resources. And we see it. We see it in the mansions that are going up all over Dominica.
Yes, sir.
Where people have not only one, but two, but three mansions. Mm-hmm. We see it in the taxpayer paying $64,000 for the prime minister to live in a building. We have made tens of millions of dollars in the CBI sale of our Dominican passports.
Billions.
Yet, our young people today
do our jobs.
Continue to walk up and down in the villages without opportunity, without work, without a future.
Now, guys, when I did the previous reaction, on the Labour partner, and he said that Thomson never spoke about anything. Well, apparently he wasn't listening, because it's clear that Thomson is speaking about something that can actually help the youth. It is clear. So if you're saying that he didn't speak about anything, while you were talking about other people you meet, and you were ponging beef with these women and this kind of things there, it says that you were lying. This is why I reacted to this video after your video. Let's continue.
And that is why we are in this. I am in this personally because I believe that we can make a difference in the lives of the people of Dominica, and in particular, the lives of the young people. But we have to move past a government that does not care about the young people.
Facts.
Because if you cared about the young people of Dominica, you'd be looking for things like that. To employ them, give them meaningful employment, you'd be looking for ways not to build 2, 3, 4 mansions. You can only live in one at a time in anyways. But this abuse of the Dominican resource, this abuse of accumulating wealth at the expense of the Dominican public cannot and should not continue.
Facts.
And that is why we're in this fight. And that is why I am here tonight in the Bronx, New York, with that message that we need your help, we need your support. I'm sure as we talk tonight that at some point you may want to go back to Dominica. But I'll tell you what, I have friends of mine who are not retiring in Dominica. They're asking about opportunities in St. Lucia.
Yep.
They want to be as close to Dominica as possible. They just cannot commit to Dominica. We have tens of thousands of our Dominicans who are in St. Martin, in Seba. There is somebody tell me we have Dominicans in Seba. I'm like, Seba?
Yes,
What's that?
Yes, we do.
Seba is a little rock.
Yeah.
A little rock in the Caribbean Sea. I don't think that if they have 2 trees, they probably have a lot.
It have Dominicans
You know,
there.
we have Dominicans there making a living
Oh, you man.
because they cannot find those opportunities in Dominica. Even when we have so much.
Before we continue, guys, I know Dominicans that are there. They are heavily involved in the tourism aspect in Seba. Sometimes they're having yachts that come there, and the yachts give these people how much? Well, let me not go too thing. A few $100 in tips. And sometimes it equates to even far more than $1,000. And they make good money in the tourism aspect, and they make good money in tips. Dominicans, yeah. Yo, little Seba. And now they are trying to do the same thing in Barbuda. It's already happening in Barbuda, you know. That's why they build the international airport already. But hey, and Dominicans just lapse in.
Resource in Dominica. We are blessed with a natural resource. Our water. Nothing has been done with water. Absolutely nothing.
Yes, absolutely nothing.
Our water resource, our agriculture, our essential oils. You know, I tell somebody we have the best of everything in Dominica.
Yep.
We have the best water. We have the best food.
Yeah.
You name it. The best music.
That's our air. We have the best air. Some of all you saying, but Mr. Lix, what you saying then? Yeah. Yes. There are places around the world where they bottle in air and they selling it to places like China. Or you can Google that here. I'm not playing joking, no, brothers and sisters. They going on top mountain and they bottle in the air on the mountain. And they selling it to places like China. Can you imagine that? So people carrying this can of air and they have it on their nose and they breathe in. Sometimes they have the sea breeze air. Yes. They go in the sea areas and they bottle the sea breeze air. Smell like salt and, you know. And they, feels so nice. Go on top of the mountain. They spray that. Oh, nice. I see this. I thought it was a joke. It's a real thing. That's $1 million company. We have air. Brothers and sisters, you go on top of Dominica, sometimes you feel like you should go and sleep. Put a hammock somewhere up Scott's head and just chill. We fall asleep in Scott's head already. I fall asleep in Scott's head already, you know, guys. The nice cool breeze, man. You pull up there, you chilling, and the breeze hits in you. You just knock out. When you do catch yourself 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So that's to tell you. I say I just got a super chat there. Mango, big up yourself one time. I appreciate the super chat, no doubt about it. I appreciate you for definitely being a #1 fan, man. Bless up yourself one time. Blessings for the super chat, guys. Of course, if you guys want to leave a super chat, you can definitely do so by, it's a support for the channel. And of course, helping me to do more of these videos right there. Ernst Philip, big up yourself one time. Hope I'm not too late. No, man, you still have a good amount of time, as you can clearly see the timestamp right there. You have about 40 minutes remaining on that stuff, so you're going to be running through that. And of course, I'll leave my thoughts. Anyways, remember to hit that like button. Brothers and sisters, listen to Earns in that regard right there. Hit the like button. There's 55 of you guys in the building right now. Click the thumbs up button for me, please, to help push this video further and further right there. Ira Hippolyte, greetings to all my fellow Dominican brothers and sisters from your brother in Germany. It's time for change. Big up the Germany massive. I have people from Russia watching my videos. I have people from Indonesia, Africa, Mombasa, Kenya, a number of places all over the world. Australia. One of the lawyers is actually in Australia, and because of my video, he was able to connect to another Dominican that was actually visiting Australia then. And of course, they sent me the photo and stuff of them right there. So I have a number of persons who actually watch my videos from across the world, man. Big up the Germany massive right there. I need to come to Germany, you know. I need to take a spin in Germany. I was close. I was right next door to Germany. But, you know, next time, man, next time. We'll see how that goes. Actually, I have a friend who I grew up with. Her father is a doctor. She's in the United States. She's from Germany. They're in United States right now. So actually, I have a friend who's from Germany. I grew up with her as a little boy, you know, and stuff. You guys know which doctor I'm talking about. The green van. All right, let's continue.
But nobody seems to know that because it's all just in Dominica. Yes, absolutely. But we need to get that out. And so that is what this is all about. This is more than just a political party versus the other.
Yep.
This is about
Dominica, man.
the future of our country.
And the people.
This is about the future, in particular, of our young people.
Yep.
And I'm making this plea tonight, especially for the young people.
Last week,
because it pains me to no end that the same country that offered me so much opportunity, that so many hundreds and even thousands of our young people are condemned to a life of nothingness by this government. And if nothing else,
guys, I remember speaking to a Liberite 20 years, 25 years. Back then he was 20, 19, 20. Around there. 18, 19, 20. Back then. He's a Labourite. He changed today, brothers and sisters, but he still considers himself a Labourite, and that's fine. But he is not supportive of the government at all. And I pull up one time, I met him, and he was saying he and his father was watching my videos and stuff, and he checking this and that, this and that. So we talk about it, and then he agreed for what I was saying and what have you. And then I ask him the question. I say, you a supporter of Labourite? That back then he was a youth supporter of Labourite. Every time there's campaign, he there. Anyways, youth supporter of the Labour Party, what have you accomplished as a result of supporting the Labour government? What? You see, boy, absolutely nothing. To the point where he's 40-something years old. He's 40-something years old, guys. And he's still living with his father. Oh. Let's continue, guys. Let's continue.
Do it for these young people. Some of us, we've worked our lives, we're about to retire, but do it for the young people whose whole lives are ahead of them. But I can tell you they will not get those opportunities with this current government. And so we have to work hard to make those changes.
Yep.
We've tried very hard to get the reforms, and see, we have partial reform. After the protests, after years of asking and reports from the OAS, from CARICOM, from the Commonwealth, even the Caribbean Court of Justice, our highest court, warned the government of Dominica after the 2019 general elections. They looked at the elections. They looked at the petitions that were presented. They saw the bloated voters list. And they told the government that no future election should be held unless and until there is change, there is reform.
And Skerrit knows this, so he brings a little change, which of course, if you look at it, from the surface level, it looks like there's some sort of, and this is why I disagree with Thomson. Although from the surface level, it looks like there's some sort of partial reform, he claims. But unless there's actually any move or any measure that will take place, any at all, we are still back to square one. Because if they were to call elections, and I'm a person believe that they're going to call election June 1st, I don't think that is the case at all. Because right now it's just not good for Skerrit at all. Not good at all, at all, at all, at all. And then again, the country that much money, so, you know, that's another situation right there. And they put in a set of loans on the people. Hopefully people wise enough to realize, hey, you put in loans on us and we have monies overseas. Really? What's going on here? Anyways. So, Skerrit is doing all this. Telling the people about, and with the understanding of partial reform. Thomson is talking about partial reform. But they can still revert back to the very thing that has not changed. They talk about time frame. What is the time frame? From what time to what time do we have to re-register or to put our names back on the list or whatever it's called? What time frame? How do we get the cards? Is there anything of that sort happening? Brothers and sisters, we in year 3, you know that 2022 was election. We in year 3. 2 more years to go. And we're not hearing nothing. Since 2019, Skerrit promised us electoral reform. Very interesting stuff right there. Mango, Dominica should be supplying the world with fresh water. Yes. But apparently Dominica doesn't seem to take care of its own water. Why? Because we have more outside water inside Dominica than Dominica water itself. We have I saw 2 Trinidadian waters here. I saw water from St. Vincent. When I was in the thing, we saw water from St. Vincent. I literally showed it to the lawyer and said, look at this water from St. Vincent. So you can't tell me there are water from St. Vincent. We have Antigua water here. Oasis. The oasis you see on the share, brothers and sisters, is from Antigua. Okay, look at where it's from. All right. A number of waters, Trinidad water, Antigua water, St. Vincent water. We have American water here. I saw it on one of the shelves in Portsmouth. And it's not after Maria. This is this year. I saw it. So you cannot tell me it's not that there. In fact, they're selling overseas water wholesale in Dominica. They're selling, boy. And we consider ourselves to have 365 rivers. We're not taking care of our rivers. Let's complain about low water thing. I mean, they're not doing nothing at all to create dams to at least protect the river. Nothing. Boy, we good in that place there, you know. We're really good, you know. Brothers and sisters, we're real good in that place there. Jennifer is saying, true, best air which causes our skin to glow. Yes, I agree that. Alan Girl is saying Dominica has the best in everything, starting with the people. The people are nice too, but sometimes they last. The people are nice to live in, to go better in other better places, to be nice. And it shows. Even the Caribbean people, Caribbean overseas want Dominican people to work. They're looking for Dominican people. That's why heavy brain drain is taking place, because when the Dominicans go, they finally finding some sort of living wage, not just salary, you know. Living wage. So they can do things for themselves and their family. This is why I also indicate that individuals need to go as well. 60 of you guys are in the building. We have 26 likes. Click the thumbs up button for me, guys. Click the like button to, of course, help push these videos further and further out there. Alan Girl, Dominica has the best in everything. Yes, I read that. Andre P. Interesting last name right there. Dominica is a cool place. Yes. I literally showed that on my vlog the other day, how beautiful Dominica is. You go to the rivers, you go to the seas. There are people that are coming down, brothers and sisters, and I have to show them all over the place. The beauty of Dominica, in a sense, I have people that come down from BVI in Dominica today. Want to explore Dominica and those kind of things there. I have some coming down at the end of this month. Gonna have fun in Dominica. The beauty, the niceness, they go to Sulphur Springs and all kind of things Dominica has. It's just unfortunate that the Dominican people cannot enjoy the economy that would help them to even further push Dominica right there. So indeed, Dominica is a cool place, no doubt about it. Jennifer Joseph is saying protest and boycott in front of the bank and say no to the loan. Well, people are scared of protests nowadays. They're using slave laws to go after the Dominican people. The very black people go in and enslave their own people. I just talk about history, you know, brothers and sisters. We learn history in school, but apparently we don't understand when it's been repeated. The white people were enslaving black people, but we realize when the black people are enslaving black people, that is part of slavery too. Or are we still some mental slaves? We might not be physically shackled, but are we still some mental slaves?
How did our government respond? 3 years later to call an election without nothing being changed.
And no court system, nothing happened. This is why, what was the point of CCJ's ruling? What was the point of that? Oh, Lord.
And today, we're hearing about the possibility of a snap election. And we have to ask ourselves a question. Who exactly is the Prime Minister doing this for?
Not the people.
Is it for the young people of Dominica?
No, for himself.
Is it for the public servants who have not received the raise in over 15 years? Can you imagine? I taught, said myself, we both taught at the academy. Zed, do you know that when we taught, the amount of money we were making is about the same amount people are making today? A month?
As you said that day, brothers and sisters, like I indicated before, I used to do music in the United States. And I clocked my entire salary for the year. My salary was about $1,006. My basic salary. I used to make a lot of overtime, so that stuff is another story. But my basic salary, brothers and sisters, $1,006 EC per month. Times 12. I clocked my entire salary in 3 weeks in the United States. Look, he's making the same statement there. They had some sort of talk or whatever they had. And they're making in one day what people in Dominica is making for your entire month.
That is what we have in Dominica. So you have a government who has not been able to pay its public workers. We have a system that's completely messed up. The private sector is shrinking every single day.
Every day.
It cannot absorb any workers. They are shrinking. Our minimum wage is at the bare minimum. People have to survive on about $1,000, $1,200, $1,300 EC dollars a month. I think in US,
If all that.
that is probably 300, no, probably 400 US dollars a month.
1,002 is about $500. 475, $500. Can you imagine that? Brothers and sisters, sometimes when I tend to do gigs, the lowest I think I've ever gotten paid to do a gig is $575. Either $575 or $550. One gig, brothers and sisters. One gig alone is more than what Dominicans making. One, brothers and sisters. Sometimes for the weekend, I do 3 gigs. There's one particular one, I think one of the biggest, anyways, that's another story right there. That's a bigger company. But the lowest I've made is either 550 or 575. And that was to do a simple gig. That is more than what people making in a month in Dominica, bro.
That is where we are in Dominica. And so the fight that we're in, the struggle that we're in, when we go and we talk about electoral reform, when we talk about the cleansing of the voters list, when we talk about fighting corruption in Dominica, when we do those things, it's because we firmly believe that this current government has failed the people of Dominica.
It has.
It has failed the country.
Facts.
To the extent where you in the diaspora may not even want to come back to Dominica.
They don't.
To retire. And it's your home country. You would love to go back to Dominica.
I tell you, boy.
We need your help. And over time, we'll be able to tell you more about our vision for Dominica. I could talk to you endlessly about that because we believe that we can offer opportunities to our diasporans. We, in particular, very quickly, we would like our diasporans to move beyond just the barrel economy. This is great. As I said, I told you from the beginning, as a diaspora, we want to thank you very much for that support, that $50 million support that we give every year to Dominica. That keeps us afloat. But we need to move beyond that. We need to begin to talk about investments in our country. Can we invest, for example, can a group of Dominicans come together and put some seed funding to...
But I understand what he's saying about investing, but it's not just saying, let us invest, and we don't know if we're going to get our money back. I think we have to build the economy first before people can start investing. And I'm sure that's what he's thinking in the long run right there. But anyways, let's continue.
Do something in the water industry. Or to do something in essential oil, start doing a little perfume business and so on. There are lots and lots of opportunities that are there, that are available, and that's one of the things that we will continue to talk to you about. I know I've spoken a lot already, so I'm going to just pause there and open it up to any questions and some interaction from all of you. Thank you.
Okay, so I know some of you guys have to go and sleep. Some of all you have to go and sleep and stuff. So I'm just gonna run for, for 30 minutes, and then we'll be gone. So by 10:30, guys, we'll be gone.
Thank you. You know, we're here till 9 o'clock. We're going to have some conversations.
Okay, let's move ahead.
I was going to the Rosa Boys School, and they had that program in the school. So that's how I became an electrician. It's because of the Rosa Boys School. Understand me? I don't see that program anymore, but that's where I learned to become an electrician from the Rosa Boys School. All right, and that's what I do here. All right, so thank God for the Rosa Boys School and you guys. Thank you.
Yes, and we're definitely going to bring this back. All right, we are.
Oh, it's 7:07 p.m. Okay. You are before when? Where are you? Are you in like California or something? It's 10:07. So in like 23 minutes, guys, we're gonna be gone.
We're going to bring back that training for the young people of the country. Yes, we will. We will. Thank you. Thanks for that testimonial.
Dr. Fontaine. I'm also one of the old boys from St. Mary's Academy, and we were always taught that the future is in our hands, that SMA always teaches that we're going to be the men of tomorrow. It never said men and women, because there were no ladies there. But, we're proud to be of that alma mater. There is one thing I think while I was in Dominica recently, there are those who thought that rather than there be a UWP party, shouldn't there be a united opposition party rather than there be single opposition parties fighting for the same cause against a giant? It's okay. We can disagree. But sorry, let's listen to this statement.
I know what he's saying. It makes sense.
There is a disintegrated opposition, correct, at this point in time, who seem to have been fighting against each other. In your opinion, is there sufficient unity among the opposition members or parties, sufficient that going into this future election, that the results could be positive enough to create an overturn of the current administration that we are now fighting against?
No, I understand what he's saying, and what he's saying makes sense if there is a free and fair playing field. However, sometimes, let's say, like you say, united opposition front, and scare them, decide to send their people for opposition or whatever, and so forth and so forth, like they tried to do in the last one. Oh, let's put up people for independent candidates so it will look like, oh, there's elections, you know, even though they were telling people boycott it. But anyways, there could also be people who will be deciding, okay, you know what, let me go for independent, or let's have a united opposition front. And then when they win the elections, instead of sticking with one team, they decide, hey, let me jump the floor for the other one. There's a possibility of that as well. I think what he's saying that will only make sense if there is free and fair elections on the basis that is spread across. So if you're saying, okay, you vote in labor or you vote in workers or whatever, there's free and fair elections so that people do not steal. And as a result of that, it'll make more sense to have a united opposition front. That's just my take in that regard right there. Sometimes people do not share the same sentiment. And as a team, as a true team, you unify in an effort whereby you're able to meet the same goal. That's just my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts, guys? Give your thoughts as well. Let me see what Jennifer is saying. You are correct. I know of persons who is afraid to come back to Dominica. A lot of people are afraid to come back to Dominica. Some people even risking their own freedom for them to not come to Dominica, just so they can live at least some sort of better life. At least some sort of better life. Risking their own freedom. Does it tell you how bad the economy in Dominica is?
How far are you or the United Labour Party, the UWP party? How far is the UWP party into that direction, if at all? Or if you're not into that direction, why not into that direction? Thank you.
All right.
I think the best thing would be that everybody, there's no party. There's just people that are going up, and the best person will win. So there's no Labour Party, there's no Workers' Party, there's no Freedom Party, there's none of that stuff. It's just people going up and putting their name on the ballot paper or whatever, and then the people voting for these people, and whoever wins will emerge to be the PAL rep for that constituency. And then whoever wins the 21 or 23 constituencies will then be the ones who complete that government. I think if it was like that, a lot of this whole partisan business would disappear. And the people will then not look at party, they will look at the people or the person who is better suited to represent them in the constituency. Because sometimes in this day and age, they bypass the PAL rep to go for the person at the top. And I think that is not a good thing at all.
Okay, thank you very much for this question. And like you, I believe firmly that we need a united front. Okay, so let me start with that. Very clearly, we need the opposition forces to be completely and totally united. And that is what we're engaged in. We have been engaged in talking to the different parties, the Freedom Party, the UPP.
Please, I beg you, do not bring Joshua Francis. Do leave Joshua Francis where he is. I am talking from experience. I'm telling you, something is wrong with that man. Let me continue.
Individuals, because we believe that it's only through that collective effort we can have the best success. And we should leave nothing to chance. And so let me just set you at ease to let you know that we share that view. Our party shares that same view, that we will look. I mean, I can't go into detail in terms of strategy and the constituencies and so on, but just rest assured that we understand that has to happen. And I must say that so far, the response has been positive. I believe that everybody's of that mindset, because we need to get rid of this administration. There's no question about it. The future of Dominica is at stake. Our future hangs in the balance, and people understand that. And I think it's good that people are prepared to set aside their egos, set aside whatever hindrance that they have, and focus on this one goal of removing this
I think that is the main goal here. The main goal is to remove Skerrit. After you remove Skerrit, then you can have all kind of party. Once you remove Skerrit, they put the proper electoral reform system in place, and then you can have 100 parties. That is fine. That is what I think should be. You unify to remove Skerrit, because Skerrit has been gaming the system, and whether it's for corruption, bribery, or treating, whatever it is, brothers and sisters, he's been gaming the system.
Dominica Labour Party. So that is happening. Yes.
Yeah.
Steele's Kitchen, big up yourself one time. Steele's. Yes, I big up Steele's one time.
2019, when Roosevelt Skerrit called his election, I know that the Workers' Party did not participate in it. And if right now, if he would call another snap election, would we do the same
Is it 2019 or 2022?
thing, or would we participate in this election? I know Salisbury is definitely our own and Marigot, but would we step in the election just to gain these 2 seats? You know, I just want to know.
All right. I pause just a little because there is 2 things there. A snap election would mean that we have not received the reforms, as incomplete as it is. We have not received that.
That is my problem right there. It's incomplete, and as a result, they can revert back to the very thing that they claimed that they were going to be doing electoral reform for.
So that's what the snap election would dictate. So the question is, do you do as you did in 2022? Now, we've said, we've made the point. We stayed away from the polls, and we have to work with whatever hand we're dealt with. We are sufficiently confident that especially the people on the ground right now, we are sufficiently confident that they're ready for that change. The Dominican people are tired. As they tell us constantly with this government, rien par là.
Yeah, and I've met labor rights who tell me the same thing. Labor rights somehow believe that Dominica is the worst. My problem with labor rights is that labor rights will say, well, whoever you put there else, it'll be the same. They do not know if that is true or not. They know that presently the one that is there sucks. But somehow they believe that if you put somebody else there, it's going to suck too. So might as well leave the one that's already sucking. I don't understand labor right mentality in that regard. But I do have to say that I know that Dominicans want change. Majority of Dominicans want change, but Skerrit knows this. He knows this for some time, probably 2 elections back. He knows this. Based off the cycle of understanding humans, he knows that humans will get fed up of a particular party and then switch over to the next one, and so forth and so forth. That's how it happens. Especially in the United States, you get to see this from time to time. Democrats run from 2 years for 2 years, then the next one run for 2 years, and the next, not 2 years, 2 terms, and the next one from 2 years, 2 terms, and so it goes. It just happened that they happen to steal the 2021 with, but that's a whole other story right there. My problem here is that Skerrit knows this, and as a result of knowing this, he knows that he needs to go overseas to get people to come and tilt the scale in Dominica. That is what's going to happen. That's all that has been happening. They go overseas, you see boatloads of people come to Dominica, you see plane loads, and not just the normal planes, chartered flights are coming to Dominica to bring people during election time. Chartered flights. Who do you think paying for it? You think Skerrit them that paying for it? The people's money that paying for it.
Okay, I am Pala. And for those of you who don't speak Pata, nothing is there. All right? People are fed up. So we believe that there is enough of a groundswell that would vote against this government, including our very good labor right friends who tell us we may not be able to speak publicly, we may not be able to talk, because if we do talk, the little $200, the little $500 will not come our way, and we need it, so we can't blame them. But who are giving us the assurance that they will vote for us? And I'll give you another example. A few weeks ago, I was in the village of Paybush, and this young lady came up to me. We started a conversation. She must have been about in her mid-20s, early 20s. And she says, I have voted Labour I voted Labour the last time. I think I voted twice. I voted the Labour Party. But I think now we need a change because it's not working for me. But I will tell you,
Guada, big up yourself. I pin your comment one time. Guys, hit the like button for me, please. Hit the like button, guys.
afraid. Why she said she was afraid? She said, I work with the NEP program. And they're telling me that if I vote, they will know that I vote against them. And they will take away the job from me. And she says, I can't lose my NEP job. That's all I have. But that is what people have been primed with. But we know, so it's up to us now to explain to them, to explain to her, they cannot know who you vote for. But that's the kind of education that we have to put, because they're spreading the false information, the false narratives, putting people in fear that they will know who they vote for when they vote. Okay? But that is not the case.
That's not the
case. And so we have to keep working on that. So
unless they take photos with their phones, unless they tell them take photos with their phones. But it's very easy, you know, you just take a photo and then you pass that around your people and manipulate it a little bit. How are they going to know?
A very short answer to your question is yes, we intend to participate in the next election.
Yeah, Dr. Thomson, Fontaine, and from the audience. You know, one of the things that has been a challenge for the struggle and the movement and this whole oppositional thing is funding at home.
That's true.
It is critical, and it is critical because usually the funding structures you would have in Dominica, they're non-existent because these companies aren't making enough money to fund civic and political issues. Those things used to happen before. The Nassifs, the Estefans used to be sitting real tight. Everybody used to contribute. That's how it used to run. Don't let nobody fool you. You understand? But a lot of these economic structures, they are non-existent. So there is an inherent disadvantage in standing up against this government. There is an inherent economic disadvantage.
True.
And one of the things, when you look at financing things, we look at them from expensive angles. And one of the things Dr. Thomson was, been looking at is the idea of investing in small angles. So let's say you have 1,000 committed diasporans. Maybe you can take it better, but I wanted to that you catch it. While you're thinking of, well, I have to do hundreds and 200s and 300s, really, if you think about it, 1,000 committed people at $10 a month is $10,000. And none of these 1,000 people are feeling anything in their pocket because all they're giving is $10 a month.
Yeah.
But that's $2,500. That's $25,000 at home.
Easy. 26.
That's movement. That's lawyers at $10 a month. And so we want to inculcate you into that kind of understanding of how, because it is hard to want to go to courts. It's hard to go and challenge, and every time you have to go to the same people you know they don't have, and you have to beg them.
That's why I scared them steady the other day, that they're not sure how United Workers' Party was able to bring them to court. Because it seems like they have decided to destroy the economy so that United Workers' Party people in Dominica would not be able to support. But the United Workers' Party in Dominica is actually supporting. There are people who are supporting the United Workers' Party to ensure that they want to see what is happening with the CBI funds. And I think it's May 25th that is coming up. So hopefully you guys, we can get some footage on that. If we do, we will definitely react to it in that regard, or at least get some word from Thomson or whoever on the basis of the CBI program. So a little funding does help right there.
We as a diaspora, we can link into the thing, make that small contribution. If you consistently just do it small, it's not stressing you, it's a coffee for you. But when you multiply it by 2,000, it's plenty money. You get me?
Yep. Facts.
And so we'll be looking to get some support.
Let me get some questions.
Good evening.
Yes.
Thank you for your presentation and all the information that's going on in the island of Dominica. It's sad, the reality of us, the hurt that we do to us as opposed to uplifting and talking about the history of the island, how you flourished and been a part of the global economy, and now being held hostage by a few who are sitting up in an ivory tower somewhere.
So my question to you is that with we're talking about the elections, and we know all across the globe there are challenges when it comes to elections and people stealing power and trying to hold on to power. Is there any way that the UN can assist in sending in, say, monitors to oversee elections? Can the island of Dominica bring enough noise to the economic conditions? Because you see it all over the globe. Different countries make enough noise, then they like the squeaky wheel that makes the noise. They get all the oil. So how does the island of Dominica start making that kind of noise so people can respect the gold mine?
Protests. That's how we make the noise. Protests. When we protest, every time we protest, it reaches the international community. I make sure of that. That it reaches the international community right there.
And that is Dominica and the beauty that lives in that country.
All right, thank you. So, in fact, we've adopted that approach. Every election, going back to probably 2000, we've had election observers. So they've come from the OAS. They've come from...
No, guys, before you continue, I see the camera panning to the crowd from time to time. And I am not seeing Mr. Labourman there. He in the bathroom somewhere because he dressed all in blue. And I am not seeing him there at all.
The Commonwealth, they've come from CARICOM. They have been present to observe the election. Every single observer mission has said that our elections are neither free nor fair.
Yeah.
They've outlined it. A lot of the recommendations for the reform came from those observer missions. The difficulty is when they come in, they only come for the election itself. So they see the lines, they look at the polling station, everybody's lined up. It appears to be going as normal. But underneath it, they've reported, for example, the bribery that takes place. The individuals, while they're on the line, they promise that if they take a photo of the ballot, they can come back. And you had in the last election, persons would leave the voting booth and go across to the Labour Party office to collect the money because they have to show the proof of their ex. Okay, so that happens outside of the view of the observers at times. So we've tried really hard with the observers. The government of Dominica continues to do what it has done. But we are up in the game, and that's part of the reasons why we spend some time in Washington. I can't go into the details of that, but we are looking to see how we can make more noise, make it very uncomfortable for the government of Dominica to keep behaving that way. And there are ways of doing it. And
this is why they're trying their best to prevent people from protesting. This is why they're telling people that they cannot go to protest after they arrest them illegally. This is what is happening. Completely violating the constitution of Dominica to tell people that, and then telling them that they cannot show up in meetings or they'll be rearrested for violating the conditions. I think Laura Cara Shillingford was saying that sentiment too. So they know that the Dominicans make noise, and every time the Dominicans make noise, it ends up on the international community. So they don't want people to protest. That is what is happening right here, It's not, like I indicated before, it's not that they don't know what they're doing is wrong, brothers and sisters. They are buying time. That's all they're doing. Buying time to deplete the people and say, oh my God, I don't want to protest. I'm fearful of getting arrested for the very thing you are given right to do because of the Constitution. Keep in mind, it's not the Constitution that is giving people its rights, The Constitution is a reminder to those who are at the top of the people's rights. It's not the Constitution that giving people's rights. The people have their right given by the Creator. This is why God gave man free will to stand up for their rights. The Constitution is just a reminder of what is already given to humans. But apparently, they're now using slavery laws to go after humans. Interesting, ain't it? I'll just listen to one more question, guys, and I'll rope this link in the description below so you guys can check it. So let's just listen to another question right there.
I said, what about putting people in the election area to make sure it's going right? Amen. Somebody you can trust.
Okay, so
because I used to do that before.
Yes, so every election you have the persons, right? We call them agents. So we have our agents at every polling station. But bear in mind, they are looking at persons who come in sometimes who are not qualified to vote. Now, the way it happens is when you come in to vote, you raise a challenge, okay? So we raise a challenge and say, well, this individual is not James Brown. He says he's James Brown. We know this is not James Brown. This is somebody posing as James Brown. The individual takes an oath and says, yes, I'm James Brown. He's allowed to vote. His vote goes into the big pool of votes. Our option now is to take it to an election petition. We take it to the election petition. We've done that religiously every election. Persons who've come overseas who will not qualify because they were outside the 5-year period. What has happened in the courts? The courts have either not listened to it or they've set it aside.
Because the courts are also corrupt. I tell you, scary them sabotage the whole thing, you know, the justice system, the police system, the schooling system, education system, everything. And now these people kind of turn against because they're involved in the corruption themselves, or they have received the corrupt money. So they kind of just turn away. This is why people like Joseph Isaac cannot turn away, because he received the corrupt money too. So if anything would happen, he himself too would also falter, because he received it too. So when they rope you in and you think, oh, I finally get some monies, you then have to be loyal to them.
Time and time again. We were very lucky, and I say lucky, in 2019, that it went all the way to the Supreme Court. But it was 3 years later. It was 3 years later. So the Supreme Court could not even take a decision on the government. But they were able, when they got a chance for the first time to look at the evidence, individuals who came in who were not supposed to vote, individuals who were challenged by our agents, they said, no, you cannot have an election, because at the very core of this, if you don't fix it, it will lead to social unrest, it will lead to problems. You need to fix it. So that is what I have been faced with.
But the point
And back to zero.
I'm trying to make, you need an agent that will stop it right there.
Oh, no, they cannot.
They cannot stop it. They have to make it oath. The person say, you're not the person. The person say, I am that person. Then that person has to go and vote. Then they take the person's name or whatever thing and they challenge that person and say that person was not that, whoever they claim that they were. They have to then do that later on in court. And that process does take a while. You so crazy that system is, brothers and sisters. Anyways, let me just read the last set of individuals. Reassuring Jennifer Guada. Yes, guys. How 56 of you guys in the building right now. And 29 likes. Click the thumbs up button for me, please, guys. Jennifer, reassuring that the people that if you come into power, that they'll continue to receive the money until you all have created employment. I had a podcast with Thomson, and he has some really, really great ideas, man. He has some really great ideas, and he's looking to not just go into just Dominica. He's also looking into the digital market, and the digital market has a lot of money. It has a lot of money there, brothers and sisters. It has a lot of money there. So yeah, that's a good thing right there. Jennifer is also saying good idea, sir, to have UN assist. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Mango, over 20 years of promises under King Scary, the first. Hopefully is the last. Anyways, guys, I know some of you guys have to go and sleep and stuff. Some of you probably just relaxing on there and all in it. I appreciate you guys for definitely being a part of this here vibes, no doubt about it. I'll post this link in the description below so you guys can also get it. Oh, let me just post it in this thing right there so you guys can continue listening. We had 55 minutes. There's more questions and answer, but guys, I am definitely gonna be ending it right there. So let me just send this to you guys in the chat so you guys can check out the rest of the live chat, that is, so you can check it out right there. I appreciate you guys. Of course, Mango, I appreciate the $10 super chat. Definitely showing support for the vibrations, not just people saying, oh, Mr. Leaks, hey, we support you. You know, people always meeting me and say, Mr. Leaks, we support you. Yeah, great, all right. You support me by, you know, even in this, if it's $5 or $10, brothers and sisters, that shows that you definitely support the vibrations right there. So I appreciate you, Mango, for definitely giving a $10 super chat. No doubt about it. All the individuals who click the like button, Now keep in mind, brothers and sisters, some people believe you click the like button, I'm gonna get money from that. No, I'm not gonna get money from that. Clicking the like button just pushes the videos further and further. So the more people who click the thumbs up button, the video goes further and further and further because it shows interactions. And of course, on the comments of the video, YouTube looks at it as interaction and realize that, hey, people are engaging with the video, and as a result of the engagement of the video, they then push the videos further and further to people who most likely are within that sphere. YouTube tend to watch what you watch and then see the people are watching the stuff that you watch, and then they send the video to other people that pretty much quote unquote watch the same thing that you watch. This is why sometimes if you guys look at my video, sometimes you see the next video is MO News video, or you might see my Ariel Dominica video, or you might see my Mr. Leaks vlog video, because these are the people that interact with the videos right there. So you guys, I appreciate you guys for definitely being a part of this vibrations, no doubt about it. And you guys can definitely check out the remainder of that. I just sent the link in the live chat. So if you want to check it out, definitely check it out right there. And of course, I would appreciate, like I indicated before, that you guys click the thumbs up button. And with that stated right there, brothers and sisters, thanks so much for tuning in with your boy on this here BRBP Live Interaction Reaction Vibrations. 2 hours and 15 minutes I've been on this. I love this thing. I can go on for 4 hours, you know, guys. But you know, sometimes we're not gonna stretch the joke right there. Let us not stretch the joke. Anyways, guys, with that stated right there, thanks so much for being a part of this here vibes. Let me go and drink some water because I talk plenty. And of course, let me go and rest myself right there, brothers and sisters. Thanks so much once again. It is about Mr. Leaks on this here BRBP. Be real, brothers and sisters. Be positive.